This is Kprogeny with more wisdom for my progeny. Y'all go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're on Instagram, hit the follow for me. Much appreciated. This topic is on men and women. Pretty much the same topic. Men and women who cheat, who are married, who commit adultery. It's not really called cheating. It's called betrayal and disloyal. But a lot of times when a man cheats with a married woman, first of all, his approach to her, he had to see something in her character that said that she would be okay with him sleeping with her. But usually when they do this, they start sleeping with this woman and she's being real submissive sexually. This is what he's missing in other relationships, or he might not even be getting it at all. So he's willing to show up at odd times. She's willing to show up at odd times. And they make this happen. And that's because they will show up. The other person feels like this is a show of love or dedication. But as soon as they try to make this horrible, adulterous relationship work and get together, then they find out why they were in the streets in the first place. Because they were bad to their spouses. Then they find out that the submission and all the loving and kissing that was going on starts to dissipate. Because now you got to deal with them one-on-one like an adult. You guys will have natural problems, bills and other things. And when the arguments hit, then you will see. Once you anger the woman, basically, you make a woman mad, she's going to show her true colors. And once that argument happens, most men run. Because now she is no longer seen as this sexually submissive kitten. She's seen as this combative, bull-faced woman. Like I said, if you meet them and they doing 304 stuff, that's what they want to do. So just be very careful when you pick a spouse. Go ahead and let a family member vet them. And if you could sleep with them before they ever meet anybody in your family, any of your friends, and that's not somebody you want on your arm. You feel me? Because all that's going to happen is you're going to be walking around one day and you're going to hear a whole bunch of giggling. They wondering how she got wifed up. They telling stories amongst each other about how they tossed her up. But if you go through the proper channels to get a spouse, you won't have that problem. And brothers and sisters, any woman who will have sex in a car outside of marriage, because sometimes people do that to spice up their marriage, outside of marriage, is either giving it away for free or selling it. There ain't no other reason to have sex in a car. If she's not married to the man she's having sex with in the car, she's giving it away for free. And if she's not giving it away for free, it's prostitution. She's selling herself. And if you girls say, I'm not giving it away for free, he bought me a bag, he bought me dinner, he did all this for me, then you put yourself in the category of prostitution. He paid for your body. So when you do things like this and people know about it, what happens then is you become a fun girl. No one is supposed to wife you, no matter how bad you think they're supposed to, or how bad you want them to. They are not supposed to wife you because you gave it away for free or you sold it. Either way, that's not a virtuous woman. That's not a woman you want to bring home to your mother. That's not a woman you want on your arm in the street. For guys to walk down the street and be like, oh man, I banged her in my back seat the other day or in her back seat the other day. nobody want that. There are two types of women that I've come to know that you shouldn't marry. And one is any woman who says she thinks like a man. For one thing, she's not a man. She don't know how a man actually thinks. She is perceiving how a man thinks through her interactions with men. And most of the time when they say that, their interactions with men were with cheaters, or with promiscuous men, men that they couldn't batten down. So then they take on the mentality, I would rather be the cheater than the cheated on, because they believe that's what men think. Another one is any woman you sleep with and immediately she is willing to give you all three holes. There is nothing left to conquer there. And you don't know how many men have been in every orifice of her body. So I would recommend that you didn't marry these types of women. Matter of fact, I'd recommend that you don't even come in contact with these types of women. But if you happen to come in contact with them, know that it is, if you're not trying to marry them, it's a sin. And if you do mess with them, don't batten it down. Don't try to make it yours, because what you will actually be doing is setting yourself up for failure and a life of misery. And y'all be good. Questions and comments below. Hit the like and subscribe button. As I said, very much appreciated. We know that when God created the heavens, he also created the hell. And the angels said, and this is coming from an Islamic perspective, surely anyone who sees the paradise will want to go. And anyone who sees the hellfire won't want to go there. It says that the one who gets the least in paradise will swear he got the best. And the one who gets the least punishment in the hellfire will swear he got the worst. At the end of this race, there's a consequence or a reward. You have to be mindful of that. And you can't cross the finish line without the judge okaying your crossing. And Al-Hakam is the most just judge. That is God. And there will be nothing left out of your record. Not a thought, not an action, not nothing you did in private, under the covers, under the cover of darkness. Everything will be presented. How will you fare then? Will you look like the good sport or the bad sport? Will you be terrified at the time of death, or will you be happy and elated that you have done a good job? It ain't all about relationships. There's a bigger picture that we're not focused on that is allowing people to end their lives in trauma and in bad ways. And the only way to fix it is to give them the right way. Stop talking about, well, we have to address the problem, but we can't make the problem all that we talk about. We have to talk about the solution, and the solution is returning to trying to obey God's laws. They are there as a safeguard. I'm going to repeat this over and over again. Look at what disobeying God's laws does to people. Just check it out. One day I'm going to sit down and go through all of them and try to show you as many things that happen when you disobey God's laws that punish you. And it's not God punishing you, it's you punishing you by not obeying what you're supposed to obey. If I tell you that this slicer will cut off your hand if you stick your hand under it, and you stick your hand under it, whose fault is it? You were warned, and you still did it. So it says that when people are in the hellfire, they will call out to the gatekeeper of the hellfire, and they will say, go to our Lord and ask him to relieve us for just a moment. And the keeper of the hellfire will say, did not someone warn you during your life about this? And they will say, yes. And he will say, you will have no relief. Your punishment will be continuous, and it will have no breaks. Y'all do what's good. because you can't begin something in sin and expect it to end in paradise. No, usually how your relationship began will be how it ended.